Hey guys, welcome back. So with all the Awakening the Nightmare craziness going on at the moment, I thought that it would be kind of nice to take a step back and look at the future of the Flood from a different perspective. We now know that there's a contained outbreak sort of locked in a box on the Ark that could maybe be used as a storytelling element in the future at some point, but it seems like it's in the same situation as the Didact, as in the Flood outbreak is there if it's needed from a storytelling standpoint, and it might not be, so don't expect something to happen imminently with that. On the other hand, we have the potential for a major Flood resurgence that I've mentioned in a few videos before, and by a few I mean a shitload, but never actually made a dedicated video explaining, at least as far as I could tell, the Precursor's final test for the Mantle of Responsibility. So today I thought that I would dedicate a video to just that, because when it happens, it's likely going to be the biggest event in the Halo universe since the Forerunner Flood War, maybe even bigger than that. Now, most of the information in this video is coming from Halo Primordial, the second part of the Forerunner trilogy, which you can get for free as an audiobook while also helping me out by signing up for an Audible free trial using the code on screen right now. You get one free Halo audiobook and can cancel whenever you want, and here's the best thing, you can even keep the book. So, anyways, down to the point. This test was first mentioned in Primordial. The Primordial, which was supposedly the last living Precursor, who had become part Precursor and part Gravemind, had been captured on Installation 07 by the ISO Didact, not to be confused with the Didact from Halo 4. The Primordial was put in a reverse stasis chamber which would eventually kill him, and was interrogated by the ISO Didact. They conversed about many things, and the Primordial revealed the true nature of itself, that it wasn't a Precursor, and also that the Flood weren't a separate species, but rather were tainted Precursors. I've explained this before, but in short, when the Forerunners rebelled against the Precursors and began systematically exterminating them in the Forerunner Precursor War, the few Precursors that escaped fled the galaxy, most of which ground themselves down into a dust which would later regenerate into their former selves. But over time, this dust corrupted and created the Flood. Now keep this in mind for later, this whole detail is super important. The Primordial also revealed the true nature of the Forerunner Precursor War, and why the Forerunners suddenly turned on the Precursors. The Precursors had informed them that it was humanity, not the Forerunners, who were going to succeed them as the holders of the mantle, and essentially be, wait for it, Guardians of the Galaxy. I know, that's an absolutely top tier pun. Obviously, the Forerunners really didn't like this, nor did they like ancient humanity, so this was a massive shock to their ego, hence their actions. However, this is where we can start talking about the final test. Humanity wouldn't just receive the mantle, they had to actually earn it by passing the Precursor's final test. The Primordial also revealed that the Flood themselves was simply a test, used to judge whether a species is fit for holding the Mantle of Responsibility. It then went on to state that once the Forerunners were eliminated, and humanity rose again, the test, aka the Flood, would be given to humanity. So I think it's safe to say that humanity right now in the Halo universe is rising again, but the Forerunners haven't been completely eliminated. The Didact is still kicking around, the Prometheans are still in very active use, and Cortana's created could maybe be considered to be part Forerunner too, given their affiliation and motives. So my interpretation of this is that once the created story arc is out of the way, and Cortana is defeated, which will hopefully be soon, very very soon, the Flood will return. Now this is something that I have said in videos before. Think about it though, it makes perfect sense. Humanity will have defeated the Covenant, defeated the Didact, defeated the remaining bulk of the Forerunners, and also allied with some remnants of the Covenant. They'll not only be top of the galactic food chain, they'll also have shown that they're capable of creating peace with their enemies, which are two key elements of being Guardians of the Galaxy. And this pun needs to stop. I apologize. So, remember earlier when I said to keep in mind what the remaining Precursors did after the Forerunner Precursor War? Well, now that's relevant. They may have fled to other galaxies. Granted, not many of them did because very few of them survived, but it's likely that at least a few did. Now, given what we know happens to the dust that they broke themselves down into, This means that there should hypothetically be flood of some sort in other galaxies now. However, we don't actually know what happens when the Precursors try to use this dust to regenerate, because the dust that created the flood was never actually allowed to regenerate. It was instead used by ancient humanity as a behavior-altering drug. As weird as that sounds, just go read Primordial. I promise that actually makes sense. This could not only mean that other galaxies are completely infected by the flood, but that the Precursors that traveled to them turned into flood megaforms that we've never seen before. There's a chance they could just be like the Primordial, half Precursor and half Gravemind, but there's always a chance that they actually were given time to regenerate and became something that we've never seen before. The fact that they may have infected other galaxies also means that other entirely new races that we've never encountered before will be infected too, which means that new species, weaponry, and technology could be under the Flood's control. When this test finally happens, all of these new infected species will enter the Milky Way galaxy and then begin spreading in it, infecting planet after planet, and it's humanity's goal to stop them. Now, this sounds relatively simple, and granted, humanity have defeated a flood outbreak before, but keep in mind though, that had nothing to do with this test. That was literally just a small outbreak on a ring that was left completely uncontained and grew out of proportion. That outbreak should have never gotten to the size that it did, but hey, we all make mistakes sometimes. The real threat that's posed by this test is the sheer size of the flood force that'll enter our galaxy. Now, based on our assumptions, the flood should have infected an entire galaxy worth of species, which means that humanity are going to have to combat a flood force that could even be bigger than the one that wiped out the Foreigners. Pretty fucking crazy. When this test happens, however, we can't be certain. It could be right after the created are defeated, or it could never happen in the games. We honestly can't be 100% sure, unfortunately. Now, I just hope that this isn't a plot point that gets thrown away or dropped, because it has the potential to bring the flood back with a bang. So, that's all for today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and thank you a shitload for 70,000 subscribers. That number is insanely crazy, and the even weirder thing about it is the fact that 100k is like really weirdly close. That number used to be like an absolute pipe dream a few years ago, and the fact that it's like within arm's reach now, I genuinely can't put it into words. So thank you to each and every one of you who subs and watches the videos and likes them and supports me in any way possible. Thank you so much. I appreciate it more than ever. This thing is my dream, and right now I'm kind of living it, so yeah, thank you so much. Also, don't forget to sign up for the Audible free trial if you want to go and listen to Primordial or any other Halo book for free. Primordial is a great book. It's, in my opinion, the weakest of the 3 Foreigner books, but still, it's a fantastic book and you can get it for free, so really a win-win situation. Thanks again for watching, guys, and thank you again for 70,000 subscribers. That number, like I said, is mind-blowing. Thank you to each and every one of you for the continued support, and I'll catch you all in the next one.